It's time for the MCTX Experience mini episode.
Welcome back. It's time for our featured guest. One of the things we like to do with the featured guest is have people from different aspects of our school. Sometimes it's a business person from the county. Sometimes it's somebody on the staff.
Lifelong business partner. Somebody we're neck deep in a good
exactly.
way. Yeah, absolutely.
In this case, I'm happy to report it's kind of a local boy made good story. A former student is with us today. I'm pleased to welcome Joey Marciano. Joey was a Culinary Arts student for 2 years. He graduated in 2015, and he was an Allentown kid, Allentown High School, right, Joe?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
So it's interesting to me, Joey, because you've now gone on to what a lot of the culinary students would purport to want to do. It's kind of you follow the blueprint.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you could say that you're living the dream. You went to. I'll let you talk. Why don't you tell me about what happened after school?
Yeah, after I graduated in 2015, I went took that summer off and went right to the Culinary Institute of America in 2016.
CIA.
Yep, went to CIA. And pretty much like you said, I went through the blueprint and stuck with it for the full 2 years. Got an associate's, and right out of CIA, I went over to Princeton and had a few jobs over there. I was at Elements for about 8 months, working a pastry station with a culinary degree.
Nice.
And after that, I wanted to move a little further away from the pastry aspect and get more work more again with the food and hotline and things like that. So I actually transferred to their other restaurant, Mistral, which is also right below Elements on Witherspoon in Princeton.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been there ever since. I've already worked my way through 2 of the 3 stations. So looking to stay there until I get to the 3rd station, and really looking to
What's the 3rd station?
Yeah, tell us about the stations.
So there's Garmager, which is the first station, cold apps, salads, things like that. I was on there for about 4 months, and they quickly moved me up to the hotline, which is a veg station.
Mm-hmm.
We do mainly most of the veg pickups for the entrees, some of the steaks, some of the sides, and things like that. We do have our own dish pickups as well. We do like a steamed mussel dish. We do
one of my favorite, Mr. Worf. One of my favorite. White wine, garlic, oh my Lord.
Absolutely.
I love it.
And we also have like a ramen pickup as well that we do just by ourselves. And the last station is like a meat and fryer station. They do a lot of like the small bites. They use the fryer. They use the grill, burgers, steaks, mainly most of like the protein breakdowns and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So looking forward to getting there within the next year. And just really looking to cement my place there. And, my time's just not up there.
Just curious. So is there kind of like a hierarchy? So you kind of work your way up through those 3 stations?
Yeah, they don't like to advertise it as that, but we all kind of know that like Garmo is really like the kind of like the training wheels of it. You want to get the prep down, you want to get all of your essentials down, and I never asked to be moved up. They just came to me one day, and they wanted to see what I could do behind the hotline, so they decided to move me up, and it's been going very well ever since.
So it's kind of a create your own destiny. If I was a parent, or more importantly, a student that was passionate about fine dining, culinary, and really getting into the thick of it, it's all a rite of passage. You have to earn your way. Some people earn their way out faster than others.
Mm-hmm.
Some people probably sit at GARM, and I love to use the terms, or if I'm using the terms, GARM.
GARM.
They're GARM.
He's got the
I love it. I love it when you
you
get the terms going. No, it's a win. So you can progress. It's really self-motivation and self-execution with your
absolutely.
training. Take me back in the time machine to CIA.
Mm-hmm.
How comparison to your other classmates, how did you feel that Chef Engel, and now we have Chef Silverman, who you may have worked with Chef Silverman. Did you work with him?
Unfortunately, did not work with him, but we did work at the same place with the same chef. We both worked at Elements. He was there before they had relocated onto Witherspoon, so he's familiar with Chef Scott Anderson and Mike.
Chef Scott's reputation, Silverman, he was a legend, I'm sure.
Absolutely. He's very well known and well recognized in the culinary community.
Awesome.
James Beard. Award nominee for many, many years. I don't think he's ever won, but I know he's been nominated a dozen times.
Dude, I'm getting chills right now sitting here because that is intense. I didn't know that. Did you?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
He's such a humble, unnessing guy.
Oh my gosh,
we got to ask him more. about that.
So where I was going, and I'm glad that we're doing it.
You took the words right out of my mouth. This question too, Mr. Nash. Go ahead.
In comparison to other people from all around the country, how do you feel if you reflect back on what you experienced here with Chef Engel, Chef Silverman, the culinary program, the private parties, the breakfast for 13s, the guidance counselor lunches, all these things that we do in-house. Take me to that first, say, 2-3 months you were at CIA, and you're like, all right, I learned I'm ahead of the curve here, but I'm behind the curve. Like, take me through it.
Yeah, no, definitely being at Votech for those first 2 years definitely opened my eyes of how the industry kitchen does work, and just having basic skills that I found some of my co-classmates,
Yes.
Especially in those first few weeks, I had realized that I was ahead of the curve on just basic knife skills and the measurements of, a medium dice versus a julienne and a brunoise. I could see that they were struggling with these knife cuts, where I had already been used to having a knife in my hand for the 2 years of being at Votech, and just having the basic knowledge of soups and stocks and sauces and things like that. So the first really month to 2 months, I was already familiar with these terms that these chefs were using and the demos and the techniques that I could almost predict what steps they were going through next.
So that allowed you to build confidence. I'm assuming. I'm
yes,
not telling
no,
you.
absolutely.
So and nothing beats it when you're in brand new in an environment. I think everybody listening to this can recall and reflect back on. It's a new place. You're in a new area. You're in a new environment, new instructors, and you're already feeling good. Like, all right, it's going to get gnarly. And for anybody that doesn't know, put it in your own words. What's CIA? I mean, it
was tough. One thing I didn't know going there was that the AM classes started at 5:30 in the morning.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's
awesome.
So my first class when I first got there was the fundamentals class. Unfortunately, did not know it started so early. So that's
an eye opener.
Yeah, that was a night of no sleep.
Boy.
Me and my roommate were very nervous going into that first day. Obviously, like you said, knew everything, new classmates, chefs, kitchen. The whole college thing was.
Wow.
It's not your traditional college where you don't have to show up to a lecture this day, whatever. That it's very small classes. They know you. You're only allowed a certain amount of absences. There was a lot going into that, so it made us pretty nervous, especially for the first week. We knew we had a good knowledge and a good education. We knew we were coming from a good background and everything.
Where was your roommate from?
He actually was from here.
Who was your roommate?
Oh, my roommate was Albert.
Oh
former
my
class.
Lord, Albert! Albert, if you're listening, Albert's awesome. Where's Albert now?
He's actually working in Princeton as well. He's at the Cargo and Dinky.
Oh, how cool is that? So and I'm being serious. You guys see each other often? I mean,
we do actually. We do keep
awesome.
in touch. So it is.
You tell him we got to get Albert up here. We can get Albert in on the show, Mr. Orff. What do you think?
I don't know. I think he'd be afraid that you'd nash him again. You'd yell at him, Mr. Nash.
Listen, when students come here, we put our heart and soul between Chef Engel and myself. I think Albert got the 1-2 in a lot of ways. But we love him, and I definitely and Joey's great people, and it's so neat to see you just transform and evolve. So much change, so much growth occurs from the guys and girls that are coming here. What did you really love about CIA, and how did that springboard you into your career?
Just really the passion of it. All the chefs there, they're very old school. So they taught us a lot of old school techniques, and I know Chef Scott Engel here has taught us, a lot of the traditional techniques, and that carries along with when we got up there. A lot of those chefs were a little on the older side, so a lot of it was old school French style cuisine. The one thing that did take me by surprise was after my first year, we go out on an extern program. We get to go to.
Where'd you do that?
I did my extern at Elements in Princeton as well. So that's how I got my foot in the door. CIA, being at Votech and having Chef Scott push me towards CIA. Then CIA then opened the door to such a nice restaurant in Princeton that I previously did not even know really existed until I really did some research and was able to get my foot in the door there.
I have another question about CIA, Joey. When you're there, is it like being at? I heard you say roommate. Is it like being at college, but the classes are literally all related to culinary?
It is. CIA does have that college feel to it. It is a little different because of the schedules and things like that. But me and Albert, my roommate, we had a really good group of friends. We were really able to, unwind on the weekend. Throughout the weeks was stressful.
Grueling.
Yeah.
Grueling is That's what I'm thinking. You tell me you lived it, but
it was.
It's intense.
It was intense, and like I said, it was the early classes and getting out and just the whole readjustment of we had all really been shipped up. We were pretty far away from home. 2.5 hours. You can't really go home every weekend. It was an adjustment to staying on campus and staying occupied, especially on the weekends. We did keep busy with work, but we always found time to go out and have a good time and things like that.
All part of the college experience.
Yeah, exactly. A lot less than your normal schools, especially like your Rutgers and Penn State. Obviously, no parties like that. But everything was more geared toward, food. We would go out to our friends' apartments off campus and we'd cook and have.
So awesome.
Yeah, we'd go. Yeah, it was kind of cool. We'd have
so you capitalize on what you learned or things they were in a different stage and.
Yeah, especially we had wine classes and things like that, and everyone got real into wine and things like that. So we'd go over each other's houses, do wine tasting and stuff.
And of course, you were of age. Of course. That's a good. What a disclosure. It's a
yes.
Our dad bods are getting bigger. Just talking
I'll tell you what,
this.
Nick. I think you and I got to
expanding.
go up to CIA.
I think so
Take a
too.
sabbatical. Dr.
Can I
Schneider.
do an internship there, please?
Dr. Schneider, we need to take a sabbatical. Me and Mick Orff. Producer, we'll take producer Guyver.
Yeah, we'll record the whole thing. We'll make a podcast out of it.
We love it.
Perfect.
Last question, Joey, and then we're going to let you go. And thank you very much for being with us. This is
Absolutely.
great to hear.
This is
Congratulations, also.
Thank
You've
you.
done
Thank you so
very,
much.
very well for yourself.
Thank you.
Last question. So ranking, right? Ranking. Chefs have a reputation. I've worked in my fair share of restaurants as well of being tough customers.
Yeah,
Yelling a little bit,
Nick.
maybe throw a knife at you across the kitchen. So you've got. I'll leave Chef Silverman out of it just because you never actually worked under him. But I'll say so. Chef Engel, right? The chef at Elements, the chef at Mistral, and CIA chefs.
Yeah, like all the instructors.
Who's the toughest / craziest?
who's the
possibly?
Gordon Ramsay? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Really,
who's that
gnarly.
guy?
Who would be the Gordon Ramsay of the
What
chefs
you
I've had?
experienced? What you experienced?
Definitely most of the chefs at CIA. I've heard some stories, none that have happened to me.
Well, you're good. That's why it didn't happen. to you.
But I've seen classmates get their fair share of whoopings. I have
Sure.
definitely
And
seen
they
that
earned it.
before. Yes, absolutely. Our one chef, he wasn't much of a Gordon Ramsay type, but he was a real comedian. And one class, our flat top had caught on fire, and instead of helping, he decided to film it. That was a good one. So there's a film of our flat top just on fire and us just scrambling to put it out, and he just thought it was the funniest thing.
Awesome, love it. So is there how's Chef Engel and like we all know he's a great instructor, and we're not here to trash talk Chef Engel, of course.
I just wouldn't want him mad at me. That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely. And I've seen Chef Engel mad a few times at some of my former students. But I gotta say, the chefs at CIA definitely put him to shame.
Wow.
And
okay.
same
Good
at
to know.
Elements and Mistral. Both my chefs at both Elements and Mistral are very, very down to earth. Very kind of like they understand. They want you to come to them with the problem so they can fix it.
Nice.
And things like
Nice.
that.
Get out in front of it.
Exactly. Get out in front of it. Let's get it fixed. Let's put out something that's right. At CIA, you would have some chefs do that as well, and they would just lay into you the whole class, and your grade that class would that grade your day would definitely reflect how angry that chef was at you.
I have one last question,
Please.
Yeah.
What's it like when you get into the weeds on a Friday or Saturday night at Minestral's, and the machine keeps printing the tickets?
Yep. Oh yeah.
Is it like for all of us that don't know, is it like the movies? Except you're like, Nash, that's nothing.
It is like the movies. This Saturday was a Princeton Parents Weekend.
Oh lordy!
So the entire town was packed.
Poppin'.
No place to park, no place to go. From lunch to dinner was just crazy. We had like 200 on the books, and that ticket machine's just going. And our chef he's very good at being organized and getting us on top of it. But our kitchen is very small, so we have such like a limited space of heat to do like the volume that we do sometimes, and it just gets so hectic. And our chef is just calling for our front of house to run the food. And actually this week he was so frustrated because we had so many plates on our pass, and our front of house wasn't taking the plates to the tables, that he actually just like stopped and just yelled at them and told them that he wasn't calling in any more tickets until people ran the food. Wow. So
Mick.
So and it didn't sound that. I made it sound a lot nicer coming out of my
Well,
mouth, but of course
it's
he
a
was
family show. It's a
exactly.
family show.
He was very angry, and our front of house was just scrambling to get the food off the pass so we could then plate more food, and it was just a constant.
I have a
cycle
vision. I have a vision. Like he encapsulated it perfectly. Like somebody blowing a gasket, like in that Disney movie, the guy with the about the emotions and everything. It's incredible. So, well, I'll tell you what, that's awesome, Joey. It's so good to see you as a student. It's done well.
Yeah, you've been a wonderful guest, Joey. Thank you so much for joining us, and really congratulations on all your accomplishments.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me again.